Hello and welcome to weekly Kashmir University Video Digest, Quest. First a look at the highlights. International Geographical Union Conference held. World Environment Day observed in Kashmir University. And two-day seminar on aesthetics in Kashmiri poetry organized. Now the details of these events with your host Arabia Altaf. Department of Geography and Regional Development held two-day International Geographical Union Conference. The conference was held on geohazards, biodiversity, resource sustainability and mountain response to global change. The inaugural function was held in Gandhi Bhavan Auditorium. Convener of the conference, Professor Tasawwur Ahmed Kant, presented the welcome address.
Professor Talat, as the Vice Chancellor of our university, this university, by virtue of which he was a patron at that point of time, for this conference, has been a great guiding force to all of us, and in fact has significant role he played in encouraging me and my whole team for organizing this mega event.
Organizing Secretary of the conference, Professor Muhammad Sultan Bhat, presented the inaugural remarks.
The present event is a commission conference organized at regional level under the aegis of International Geographical Union, representing diverse but interrelated themes. These themes capture the complex interplay of geological, climatic, and anthropogenic processes that have led to resource degradation and associated environmental problems, especially in the sensitive and vulnerable mountain regions.
Vice President IGU Professor Yuko Himiyama said that disaster and sustainable development are important issues for Japan.
The disaster and sustainable development are a really key issue in Japan. As you all know, Japan is very, very famous, not because of the technology, but because of the disasters we have, the diversity of disasters and frequency of disasters. And you all know the disaster, particularly of the East Japan earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear accidents. Actually, that East Japan great disaster is still continuing. It's not finished. It's not a matter of 3 years ago. It is a current matter. And we are still struggling, and we are still learning a lot from other parts of the world.
Vice Chancellor Jamia Millia Islamia University, Professor Talat Ahmed, stressed the importance of seminar in context of Kashmir being highly seismic zone.
This is very timely, and as others said, is the most appropriate place in the country to have such conference in Kashmir, because we have problems of geohazard. We are part of the big biodiversity system, which needs to be understood. And then the response that our part of the Himalayas is going to have with respect to the global change or global climate change.
Vice Chancellor University of Kashmir, Professor A.M. Shah, in his presidential address, hoped that the report presented after the conference would become basis for future agenda.
All these things which are there in the sub-themes will definitely be discussed in different technical sessions in a proper manner. While going through the abstract, I could see a number of ideas will definitely emerge, and they will be discussed here. And after this conference is over, we'll be preparing a report, and that report will become a base for future, rather it will set an agenda for future decisions or future policy making for the state of Jammu and Kashmir as well as at the national level.
During the two-day conference, many technical sessions were held. The valedictory function was also held in the Gandhi Bhavan Auditorium. Head, Department of Geography and Regional Development, Professor Ishtiaq Ahmed Mayor, presented a report of two-day conference.
The deliberations of the conference was conducted in 3 parallel sessions each day. On June 4, in Session 1 on Sustainable Resource Management,
Vice President IGU, Professor R.B. Singh, expressed satisfaction on holding conference in Kashmir University, adding that all Indian states were represented in the two-day conference.
The wider participation starting from Arunachal Pradesh to Karnataka, we have almost all states, are represented here. So on the wider, geographical coverage, I can say that we are able to succeed for bringing a quality geographer here and able to discuss a very vital and important issues like hazards.
Chairman IGU Professor Udo Shukov opined that he was impressed with the selection of sub-themes in the conference.
I was also very impressed by the variety of the sub-themes of this conference, by the great variety of sub-themes that was in focus during this conference and which was fully in line with the general conceptual framework of the IGU geography meetings, and many of these themes were rather integrative themes encompassing natural and social sciences, and I had the impression that the overall program indicated a distinct enthusiasm for interdisciplinary topics.
Vice Chancellor Professor A.M. Shah told participants that those who have the strategic intent for learning are keen to know what is happening in other parts of the world.
I am sure that representatives from other universities world over will not only think about the Department of Geography. This is already our core competence, means a very important department, and inshallah we are sure that it will progress further. But they will think in terms of signing an MOU or proposing an MOU, while we will sign an MOU between university to university, because that will help large number of students in improving their academic capabilities, going for collaborative research. It could be joint projects, it could be joint research, it could be even exchange programs by one way or the other. Because it is very important at least to know how other people work in other parts of the world.
Later, Professor Shah distributed certificates among the participants. To observe World Environment Day, Department of Environmental Science in collaboration with Center of Research for Development organized a day-long seminar. The seminar was held on United Nations declared theme for 2014, climate change, and slogan, Raise Your Voice, Not the Sea Level. The seminar was held in the EMMRC auditorium. Head, Department of Environmental Science, Professor Bashir Ahmed Ganai, presented the welcome address.
World Environment Day is an annual event that is aimed at being the biggest and most widely celebrated global day for positive environmental action. World Environmental Day activities take place all year round and culminate on 5th June annually. It was the day that United Nations Conference on Human Environment began from 5th to 16th June in 1972, and first World Environment Day was celebrated in 1973. Every year World Environment Day is hosted by different cities with the different themes and is commemorated with an international exposition in this week of June. The United Nations theme for this year's World Environment Day is Climate Change, Raise Your Voice, Not the Sea Level.
Senior Professor of the University, Professor M.A. Sophie, said that the key to quality development is moderation.
In his zest for maximizing material gains, man has lost the basic human trait of striking a balance between his needs and his natural disposition to exploit the natural resources to that effect. The key word for ensuring quality survival and sustainable development is moderation, which roughly translates into atidal in Urdu. All said and done, it is this atidal that should inform our action, both at the individual level as well as the collective level, so as to hope for a world where all its inhabitants live in peace amongst themselves and with nature.
Registrar Professor Zafar Ahmed Rishi stressed the importance of icelands for preserving the world habitat.
Islands are important for several reasons, for reasons more than one. And then there are possibilities of increase in the sea level. I mean, there is enough data now which points towards this fact that there would be increase in the sea level. And these islands are going to be severely affected. And these 63 million people are going to be affected very seriously in case there is sea level increase. There are several reasons for this sea level increase. One would be the melt of glaciers, isn't there? Then there would be these ice sheets would be melting. And they say that if the ice sheet of Greenland melts completely, it would result in an increase in sea level by 6 meters, which would be too much. And they say that if the ice sheet of this western Antarctica melts completely, it would result in increase by around 5 meters.
Vice Chancellor Professor A.M. Shah opined that one has to inculcate the value of being responsible towards the society from the beginning.
How we make our people, especially from school level to university level, to understand that how much environment is important for us. How much it is important for us to think about society. My dear friends, it is a responsibility on our shoulders as well. How much responsible we should be towards the society. So when we are responsible towards our society, means we will automatically be responsible towards the environment as well. Since we are all teachers, these things are in us. Young teachers are sitting with us. I request them, apart from imparting education in the concerned discipline, kindly also be concerned from social point of view. How can that will in fact promote environment?
Professor Shah urged participants and stakeholders to go for massive awareness campaign from school level.
I think this time we are talking about awareness of the environment. I think this is the basic logic or basic important thing which is important. Agreed, scientific studies, all these things are there, but they remain so far as the academic discussion, all these things are concerned. But the people, including we, who are polluting the environment, they are not concerned about these things because they know the point is that we have to go for a massive awareness campaign at the school level, at the college level, at the higher secondary level, at the university level as well. I believe some kind of strategy can be worked out in future, wherein we can do and in collaboration with the school education department, with the higher education department, wherein we will try to develop an awareness about this thing. So if we are able to do that, I think awareness about the environment will automatically will be generated or automatically it will come. So these are the things which are important from this point of view, and if we do it, inshallah, we'll be able to succeed.
Assistant Professor, Department of Environmental Science, Dr. Samiullah Bhatt, proposed vote of thanks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, an event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling weeks ago. It requires planning and execution for completion of task.
During the World Environment Day, various events were held in the university to commemorate World Environment Day. Department of Law held a function in which students suggested ways to protect and preserve green environment.
Department of Law because it's a part of our faculty.
Department of Students' Welfare also held in painting competitions during which students painted their concerns.
आपके साथ सिर्फ एक ही चीज़ शेयर करेंगे कि आप इस शहर में रहते हैं, जो भी आप चीज़ें करें तो आप सराउंडिंग में देखें. 90% एलिमेंट्स तो आपने इंटरनेट या कहीं से ग्लोबली देखे हैं, बट इसमें जो एलिमेंट है दैट इज लोकल.
Participating, as our judges said, let's have a creative idea from our own environment, and inshallah we are going to do many more such competitions, and I'm sure whatever our judges have suggested today, that was for the teachers. Whenever you get your students over here, please make them clear that their competition has to be as per what they said, because our main aim is to see the creativity.
Later, awards were given to the participants. Department of Kashmiri held 2-day seminar on aesthetics in Kashmiri poetry. The inaugural function was held in the Humanities Auditorium. Head Department of Kashmiri Professor Shah Ramzan presented the inaugural remarks of the seminar.
मगर यह पोज कि अख मुस्तनद शार रवायत असमत तमि मुस्तनद शार रवायत सुंद इर्तिकाई उरूज सन लल शेखुल आलम तमि पत यम जन असे दौर आए पता हब खातून हन दौर तम पता वज ब्याक दौर सूफी शेरी हुंद जन महमूद गमी सिंह पे बराबर महजूरस तामत आव तम पता नवी शेरी हुंद दौर वन पता ब्याक दौर कि युस असे आव अमे जदीद शेरी हुंद दौर आज तामत 1960 पे आज तामत मगर अगर इस कुलहुम शारन रवायत सन्स कथ करो यह कथ पज जी कशिर शरियत सच मशरकी शरियात या मशरकी जमालियात अमुक अख मुसलसल तसलसल.
Secretary Sahitya Academy Dr. K. Srinivas Rao, while hailing Kashmir for being the birthplace of legendary poets, said that Kashmir is also the place where all schools of aesthetics were born.
Kashmir is the birthplace of Indian poetics, and almost all the major schools of Indian aesthetics were founded by Kashmiri theoreticians. Kashmir's contribution to Indian spirituality is no less momentous. It produced two major schools of Indian spirituality, Trika philosophy and Shaivism, and Sri Vidya of Shaktism. This is also the land of which gave ninth rasa, that is Shanta or peace. May peace be upon everyone in the world. It was the breeding ground of foundational concepts of Indian poetics, Dhwani, Auchitya, Vakrokti. No single region of India has produced as many expositors of poetry and aesthetics. Lallota, Bhatta Tauta, and Anandavardhana, Abhinav Gupta, Shemendra, and Kuntaka.
Vice Chancellor Professor A.M. Shah underlined the need of loving the native language so that it develops and gets enriched in the process.
Student कि तु यह मिसाल के तौर पर यह लिखिव कॉलेजन यह लिखिव यूनिवर्सिटी कश्मीरी डिपार्टमेंट खुलिव चलो अन लिखो तह कश्मीरी डिपार्टमेंट जन खुल मगर ये पर्न लड़के कह टीचर्स मा जरूरत कह जरूर यह कथ कि करो रलित मिलित कोशिश अमिच कि कश्मीर डिपार्टमेंट कश्मीरी लैंग्वेज करो मोहब्बत तो स्टूडेंट कर प्लेजर फील कि बह पढ़ा यह कॉलेजस मज तो यह जबान गए ताकि अत मिले फरोग एज ए वाइस चांसलर यीस कालस बहुत इंशाल्लाह बहुत तुह यह वादे करान कि यह मे तामत यह मे करन पज करो इंशाल्लाह अमे जबान खतर.
Professor Shah, while thanking Kashmiri Department and Sahitya Academy for holding such an important conference, told them university is always at the forefront of propagating this language.
शायरन हुंद यमन स्कॉलरन हुंद यम जन यतन बिहित या यतन बिहित छ के अस मशकूर कि युस जन विजडम साहित्य अकेडमी के भी हम बड़े मरहून मिन्नत है कि इन्होंने ये जाना कि ये सेमिनार यहाँ पर होना चाहिए. इसमें जिन्होंने पहल की, जमान साहब ने, हमारे बाकी दोस्तों ने, हेड डिपार्टमेंट ने, राज साहब ने, तो हम इनके मशकूर हैं कि यहाँ इन्होंने ये कहा कि ये सेमिनार होना चाहिए और इंशाल्लाह कोशिश आगे भी जारी रहेगी कि ये सिलसिला जो है, जो विजडम, लव, बाकी चीज़ें कि जो जमालियात हमारे इस पुराने वर्षे में है, ये फ्यूचर जनरेशन तक आ जाएगी. इंशाल्लाह कोशिश ये है कि ये जो सुपीरियर लिटरेचर है ये कश्मीरी डिपार्टमेंट तक ही महदूद न रह जाए. ये बाकी चाहे कोई साइंस पढ़ता है, बाकी कहीं है, वो भी पढ़े.
Others who spoke on the occasion included Professor Muhammad Zaman Uzurda, Professor Rahman Rahi, and Assistant Professor Markaz-e-Noor Center for Sheikhul Alam Studies, Dr. Aziz Hajni.
मैं कहता हूँ कि यहाँ के टीचर्स जो हैं, जितने वो हार्ड वर्किंग हैं, जितने वो हसास हैं, शायद हर जगह आपको उतने हसास टीचर्स नहीं मिलेंगे. लेकिन एक बात है, यहाँ के टीचर्स भी अपने आप को नहीं पहचान पाते. यहाँ के स्टूडेंट्स को भी अपनी लियाकत का, अपनी कैपेबिलिटीज का अंदाजा नहीं है. मैं कहता हूँ कि एक बार अगर हम खुद को डिस्कवर करें तो उसका नतीजा ये होगा कि न सिर्फ ये कि हम रिसीविंग एंड पे होंगे, बल्कि हमारी चीज़ें बाहर जाएंगी, यहाँ लोग आएंगे, हमसे पढ़ें जैसे पहले रहा है।
जनाब अजुक सेमिनार अकिस तिथिस मौजूस दल दिन बापत मुरकब सपदान यथ नस्बत न कशरस मज वुनुक ताम कह वाकई चशम कुशा कम सपजम। हालांकि कहीनाई तो आन जहानी अभिनव गुप्त हिमन तिवन बहल पाई कशरन जमालिया जानन वालन हंद मशरक मगरब मारूफ तहरीर कशरस मज फिरमिज यमो पथ काल कशीर हुंद ज्ञान तो व्यजार नेशनवित नाव प्रोमुत।
ये मैं देख रहा हूं कि some people don't like I speak in English and Urdu, but I will shift to Kashmiri. This was just at the outset, just to give to a feel to my friend Mr. Rao and Mr. Sadap, that when we participate in the national and international events, I have seen Teluguites, Tamilians, Marathis, Gujaratis, Goans. They always speak in they strictly stick to their mother tongue without bothering that who are the people who don't know our language. They go on speaking. But we Kashmiris are magnanimous in this respect. We are language lovers, and in fact we are lovers of our language. But at the same time, we are not language fanatic. But at the same time, I want to request my friend, who is a very close friend of mine, Mr. Rao, our magnanimity should not be taken as a weakness.
That is all for today's episode. To watch all the episodes of Quest, log on to our website emmrckashmir.com. Send us your suggestions at our email address quest@emmrckashmir.com. Before I take your leave, here are a few words of wisdom. Within any given system, there are claims which are true, but which cannot be proven to be true.